Hi, my name is Nick and I am a careers advisor at the University of Roehampton. Welcome to the Inclusive Futures Fair 2023. I'm going to talk to you about some job interview top tips right now, either for engaging with employers today or if you've got a job interview coming up. Number one, be prepared. So that is as simple as find out where the interview is in person. Give yourself enough time for public transport. Simple. Don't arrive too early, definitely don't arrive late either. But also being prepared means research the company. Look at their social media, look at their website, look at their clients, look at some of the project work they're doing. Have they got a good reputation? What kinds of work have they been doing in the local community? Anything you can talk about the company is really beneficial in an interview. And it shows to the employer that you've done your research. Top tip number 2. Make sure you're prepared with your interview questions. Plan them out in advance. So, for example, competency-based questions include themes like leadership or management or experience working with challenging customers, for example. What I mean by planning is use the STAR technique, so STAR, plan out your answers, maybe have a different post-it note around your screen if it's an online interview for each particular type of common theme. So for example, leadership, give an example from your own work experience or from your studies. S, so that is the situation, what happened, what was the issue, what was the task. This is where it blurs a little bit, okay? So T is the task. Use the language I. What did you have to do in that particular project or role? What were you asked to do by your manager? What did you decide to do yourself? The A is the action, the specific things you had to do. I sent an email, I created a report, I circulated a document, I engaged with this particular person, I set up this event, I organised a budget, I used this software. What did you specifically do? The R is the result, so what happened afterwards, not only to yourself, but perhaps the client you're talking about, or the patient that you were working with, for example. But R could also be reflection. So if you had to do this again differently, what would you do next time? Top tip number 3 from me is first impressions. So think about your body language, think about the clothing you're wearing, your haircut, the dress sense that you've got. To give you an example, that the music industry is naturally going to be less formal for a job interview than something more conservative and traditional like the financial industry, for example. Also, with first impressions, definitely think about, if it's an online interview, you've got to think about the framing of your camera, the lighting. Have you got a virtual background on? Are you positioned in a way that you're looking directly at the camera like I'm trying to do today? Top tip number 4. Think about the questions you're going to ask the employer at the end of the interview. Do not generally ask about things like salary or the lunch hour or kind of flexible working. Those are things that you can work out, get the job, work out afterwards. Use those 3 questions to really ask a decent question about the working culture of the company, or perhaps the training you will be given, or something related to the job role that you're unsure about. So my advice here is use those 3 questions effectively. Top tip number 5, so a lot of students and graduates forget this. What do you do after the interview? So you could connect with that recruiter on LinkedIn, you could send them a thank you note for their time. Don't pester them too much with too many emails, but definitely chase up for feedback if they don't provide it with you automatically. The golden rule is, I would say, a week to 2 weeks if you haven't heard from them. Even if you're unsuccessful, still ask for feedback, because that's how you improve going forward. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day at the Inclusive Futures Fair, and do check out our other careers advice videos.